Hello, this is Rob Heinsoo, game designer and writer for Pelgrane Video. And you've tuned in today for an installment of my favorite monster. I'm going to cheat a little. I'm not positive how many other Pelgranistas are going to choose monsters from the Dragon Empire. So I'm going to bookend my favorite monster with the beginning and the most recent days of my D20 rolling career. And in the beginning, my first dungeon, 1975, my favorite monster was the dragon. Not because of The Hobbit or any other reason you might really be imagining, but because I had just read the second book in Anne McCaffrey's Dragon Riders of Pern series, the book where the hero manages to get a dragon egg and impress himself upon it and have a dragon friend. So in my first dungeon, there was a big section in the northeast that was a school for dragons. And it was blank. I didn't really draw anything inside of it. I also didn't put any doors in for the rest of the dungeon. So the player characters were not probably going to get there because there was no way to get there. And I think some conscious or unconscious thing in my childhood self knew that if the player characters and the dragons met, it wasn't going to be good for either of them. So Hogwarts for Dragons just was allowed to flourish on the side, and the heroes knew it was there, but they also kind of knew they shouldn't be going there, and they didn't. Later, when my dad had retired from the army, and I was looking for other kids to play D&D with and other games, I think my favorite monster was the purple worm, and this was completely unexpected, and the reason was very simple. I could tell other kids about orcs and hobbits and magic swords, but nobody had read Lord of the Rings, and there were no, I don't think there really were any movies that really were similar. So the purple worm was the evangelist for getting other children to play D&D. I could tell kids, look, there's this giant purple worm, and it's underneath the earth, and it comes and it eats things, and somehow kids, purple worm, that was great. I got 2 players from that, and so I was grateful. I'm grateful to purple worm, even though, you know, as a grown-up, I think maybe it's a dumb monster, but obviously it worked. Moving on ahead, many years later, as a 13th age player and GM and designer, I was like, do I have a favorite monster? And I guess I kind of do. I have a favorite monster I designed, and I think that's the Ogre Mage Knight that's in the Bestiary, because I really enjoy monsters where you don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be fun and cinematic, and it may make the player characters change their mind. And that Ogre Mage Knight feels a little bit like a Hong Kong movie kung fu villain, like spraying lightning and teleporting and God knows what else. So I really have enjoyed the Ogre Mage Knight. But I think the big answer is Rakshasa. And they would not have been my answer before designing 13th Age. And while working on 13th Age monsters, I had to really confront the elements of the folklore in the Rakshasa and sort of make that playable in terms that I thought were good for the game. And I had a lot of fun doing that. And I love the mastermind monster that would rather not get its claws bloody. It has underlings for that, but it can if it needs to. And I think maybe it was during 4th edition, and then in 13th Age, and then in 5th edition, I believe that Rich Green has a player NPC, spoiler alert, in Parsantium, named Heinsoo, which is not the proper Estonian pronunciation of my name, so you know it's from a different world, but it's news to players. Heinsoo is a nasty Rakshasa, and you need to watch out. Meanwhile, in 13th Age play, my current player character in an Eyes of the Stone Thief campaign run by Rob Leitner is his one unique thing. His name is Kor, and he's a monk. He is trying so hard to be the shepherd, but his parents were an ogre mage magician and a Rakshasa, and which is a little bit like having parents who are Doctor Doom and female Wolverine mastermind. I'm sorry, superhero failing me, but they work for the Prince of Shadows, so how bad could they be? Yeah, so favorite monsters, Rakshasa, Ogre Mage, and good luck to my monk. Thanks for listening. This has been Pelgrane Video. Until next time.